Kia ora, e te whānau, haere mai ki the Yealands Classic Fighters at Omaka. A fairly decent size air show here in Te Waipounamu, and significantly for aeroplane fans and pilots like me, the first decent size air show we've had in about 4 years. So this takes place over 3 days, if you count today, the practice day, Easter weekend 2023. And I haven't counted, but there must be 50 or 60 airplanes on static display, and I would say 15 or 16 display flights each day, comprising solo demonstrations and quite a few formation teams as well. So it's a good fun time. Also a really good social get together. You know, I just ran into a guy I knew in the Air Force I hadn't seen since about 1990. There's, you know, the kind of meetings you have at a place like this. So I've just finished flying my aerobatics display practice, which has been a heap of fun. It's only the second big air show low-level aerobatics display I've done. The first one was at Ardmore last year. This one's a lot bigger, but you know, the flying doesn't change. Today is the practice day. I'm not slated to fly in the main display unless some of the World War I airplanes are unable to fly due to high winds, or if there's some other sort of aircraft serviceability. So while I wish them well, part of me hopes that they have a reason for me to fly tomorrow. The display went pretty well, I think, from what people said on the ground and from what I thought. What did I take from it? Well, firstly, walk the display through. So, you know, we all have our display routines, but standing facing the display line and walking slowly through, waving your arms and pretending you're in the air to orientate yourself with the landmarks, you know, which way the wind's blowing, where the crowd is, all those good things. And also watching other people rehearsing as well gives you a good idea of what works and what doesn't. One thing you're not going to do, of course, is change your actual display routine on the day. That's an absolute no-no, but you can certainly, you know, extend up this way or point that way slightly to keep yourself in front of the crowd and make it all work. Second thing is be flexible. So I had planned to take off at a certain time and go to a certain place and be overhead at a certain time, but none of that happened. So we had because it's practice day, we had an emergency drill. So the whole airfield was shut down while the fire service people went out and rescued the imaginary pilot. So I was delayed in my takeoff. I got sent to an entirely different place. So this is not my home airfield. I got sent to 2 reporting points I'd heard of but never been to. So luckily the homework paid off there. And then just got sort of vectored around the place a little bit before the display started. But once it got going, a bit of muscle memory and a bit of prep took over, and before we knew it, it was over. Interestingly, the thing that people have commented on most is not any of the aerobatic maneuvers, but the maximum rate turn, which I do towards the end of my display. And maybe it's something that doesn't happen a lot in chipmunks. You can honestly, you know, at about 100 knots, crank it round to, I don't know, 80 degrees, and you can turn that thing around pretty quickly, and apparently that looks pretty good from the ground. So I'll certainly keep that as part of the routine as it evolves over the next few years. So that's it. That might be all my flying from here at Omaka, or maybe I'll get another bash on Saturday or Sunday. We'll see. And then it's time for the long slow flight home to Tamaki Makaurau. Ka kite anō.